Okay, so today we're just going to remove the carburetor on this TVSAT. It's a power screed. So you're going to take that air filter cover off, and then you're going to take the backing to the air filter cover off. And then with a screwdriver, you're going to remove the two screws inside that air filter cover. So basically you're going to want to remove, if your engine's not working, most times it's that carburetor. Sometimes bad fuel, dirt got in your fuel, whatever it might be. Cleaning your carb and putting good fuel in is majority of the problems we see in engines. Not just Tomahawk engines, Honda engines, Kohler engines, Kawasaki engines, all of them. They don't have the same filter systems as cars, so they're really sensitive. But if you put good fuel, rarely you have these issues. So remove those two bolts to get that carburetor released. And then you're going to see that there's actually a throttle that's stuck. There's like a throttle. You can see that little pin. There's a throttle that's stuck on it. And you're going to pull it off, and you'll have to move that throttle forward on the lever on the handle to help you out. And you'll pull it off. So once that's off, you can loosen these two bolts that are kind of connected to this metal piece and pull it out. So now your air filter and carburetor are disconnected from the engine. You're going to just take that carburetor off. Some people put Carb Clean, other people use an ultrasonic cleaner, which you can get from like Harbor Freight for like 30 bucks, and that does magic. The ultrasonic cleaners are awesome. They almost always fix it. The Carb Clean, not so much. But just to avoid all of it, a carburetor delivered is only 29 bucks from Tomahawk anyway. So just making this switch, you wouldn't even have to clean it. You could just toss it and get a new one and get on with your job. So he took the other carburetor off, and now he is putting the new one on. But before he puts it on, he's going to have to put the fuel lines on. So there'll be two little like brass kind of like valves that you're going to hook up to, and then you're going to go into the gas tank and then into the primer bulb. So basically the reason for the two tubes is, one is intake into the gas tank and the other is like, outgoing. So now the carburetor's there, you're gonna line it up, put the two bolts through just like we did when we took it off. Make sure you have that little like paper gasket, put it through. You don't want any air, like metal on metal doesn't work. You want metal on like plastic or rubber or some kind of gasket to make sure that the air and everything's balanced. Like these things have to be, not too tight on, but there can't be air or like a break in it. Otherwise, it's just not going to start. So there's a better view. You just kind of slowly tighten it, work it, make sure it works. It's not. You're going to know when the screw fits. You can see that it's not really lined up. So once it gets lined up, you'll be able to tighten both, and you won't have to go too hard, and it should fit nice and snug. So once it's there, you should check it, make sure it doesn't move too much, and you should be all set. So once that's fastened, now you're going to retighten this accelerator throttle onto it. And you might have to mess around with it a little bit, go tighter or looser, but whatever it takes to get that little piece into the accelerator. And test the handle too. Make sure it's going, that lever's moving back and forth. When you pull down the handle, does it move back? If it doesn't, then you're gonna have to readjust and maybe tighten the bolt a little bit more. So what I like to do is just put it on there really loose, and then I'll start tightening it up until I see the whole lever move. And then once it's good, I'll just tighten everything. And you can push this down with your finger. He's like trying to do it with the screwdriver, but your finger works as well. Just depends, I think our guy's fingers are too big for this at the point. So now he's lined up. You can kind of push it back with the pliers. It pops in. This is the same process as like a brake on a bike. Throttles are kind of the same in most places in this kind of way. So this is going. It looks like it's moving. Yep, it's going up and down. So we know this is one good. I would tighten up those bolts a little bit. Air filter's tight. Now we're going to just pop it back on and put the cover on. This thing is ready to go. You'll fuel it up, give it a couple pulls, make sure it starts, and you should be good. And my little 2 cents of advice is just, use that 10W30 oil and really clean fuel.